So I want to go outside the courthouse out in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and bring in the director of photography for Law and Crime and Court TV, Richie Morganstern. Richie, great to see you. You've been there at the courthouse. Can you describe for us that atmosphere, the change, the level of support that Lindsay Clancy, this accused child killer, is getting?
Yes, pleasure to be here, Vinnie. Yes, the energy has been rising each day, but today kind of blew through the roof as far as the crowd, the way that everyone showed up just came completely supporting Lindsay. I feel like now it's more important than ever to be paying attention to this trial because the outcome is going to be one to be remembered.
Absolutely. We experienced the Karen Reed case in Massachusetts, and I was there. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of mostly women, like it is today, I presume at Lindsay Clancy, wearing pink. They're supporting someone in very unusual circumstances. What's the vibe that you get from the crowd? Like, what are they saying? Where are they coming from? What did you sort of gather from them?
The vibe today was mental health, the support for women. A lot of people here kind of shared some of the same feelings that Lindsay was going through. I did hear a few people saying that, where they can really relate to what Lindsay's going through, and they want to bring that attention to the rest of the world. And I think this is actually the place where it's going to happen, because there had to be 1,000 people here today in pink. They came in, as many as they could, came into the courtroom to show her support, They had our car drive by today, and I don't know if I got the shot of it, but they actually rolled down the window for Lindsay so she could see the crowd and how they were here to support her. And the energy is one I don't think is going to quit after this trial. I think they're going to stay to it until everyone knows that women are going through something that just everyone can't understand unless they've had children themselves.
And as I look over your left shoulder, it looks like there's still some of these folks that are still hanging around. There's not much happening in the courthouse today, this afternoon, but it looks like there's still folks there.
Yeah, some of the supporters really want to let Reddington know how much they appreciate him and how much he's kind of being an advocate for women right now.
I did see him getting some of what we've seen in some other trials. Like the first time I ever saw actual applause for not criminal defense attorneys, but for attorneys at a courthouse was at Johnny Depp. We saw it obviously at the Karen Reed case, and I guess Kevin Reddington is getting some of that same love.
Kevin Reddington is getting a lot of love. I would almost say, I was at Karen Reed also. Different type of energy. This is more about mental health. That was kind of about, cops and, the situations they have to go through. Here, I feel like this one's going to last longer as far as just the mental health and what women go through when they have children and when they're going through the process of being pregnant. And then, they still need to be cared for after being pregnant.
I think you're really touching on something here. And you wonder, like a lot of what we're seeing, I was not expecting this type of reaction to this case, and it's taken on a life of its own. But what you're saying is really interesting, and it's different than people look at it and say, yeah, it's kind of like Karen Reed, but it's not really like Karen Reed. What's drawing them is something that is much, much different. Let me ask you this though, because the other part of all of this is that there were 3 children who are dead, 3 innocent children who were strangled to death. But I did notice in the crowd that some of the women who were there brought their children with them to the courthouse today.
Yes, that is very unique. I don't remember any situation where a mother is admitting to actually killing her children, and then you have thousands of women coming out in support of her. So yes, that is very unique and especially very different from Karen Reed. And that's why I say, like, this case means a lot, not just to women, but to, our country in general, to bring and shed light onto the situation that these women are going through.
Yeah, it's not an accident. These women are sharing their stories. They're there for a reason because it touched a nerve with them. And then ultimately the question will be in this trial is how does all of that impact the jury inside the courtroom itself? Richie, it's been great speaking with you. Any sort of observations that you've made during the course of this case from inside the courtroom?
Well, today was different. Today, they actually, usually the judge just comes out and asks the whole jury as one whole, have you heard anything? Is there anything we need to be concerned about? And, everybody just kind of shakes their head. But today, the judge wanted to take each juror one by one and ask them direct questions, swear them under oath, and have that face-to-face conversation to see how they felt about today. Because if you look at the shots earlier, they covered the whole lawn out here, so there was no way that jury members did not see the crowd, and they saw the flood of pink. And even when you came into the courtroom, they kind of made the suggestion to cover up a little bit of the pink, but the courtroom was filled with pink also. So I think that's why the judge wanted to have some one-on-one talks with the jury members. It's a situation that's across the nation. We had people driving in from Pennsylvania, Maine, South Carolina flying in. So we didn't just have people from Plymouth showing up here or Dedham or anything like that. People flying in for this. So yes, it's got the attention of our country. It's got the attention of all the women. So I think we're in for quite of a show moving forward, especially for closings.
Yeah, absolutely. Closings and then deliberations and ultimately a verdict.
Yes.
This jury hopefully will reach one way or the other, whatever it is that they can all agree as to what this all means. Richie Morganstern, great to speak with you. Always doing great work. Director of photography for Law and Crime and Court TV. We'll speak again soon.